So, do you just want to look rich or actually become rich? Because I wanted to make this video today to mainly to people who are out there on YouTube right now. You're looking for a way to make money online and you're looking for inspiration, and you start to see all of those people just flashing a bunch of stuff in your face, right? Like watches, cars, traveling, they have penthouses, they have all of these things that is your kind of that's what you think it means to be rich, to have a lot of money, that you buy a lot of stuff. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that, but in this video, I basically want to break that belief for you. And I want to give you an alternative game that you can play if you want to make money, right? And if you have no idea who I am, my name is Max. I have been in the entrepreneurial game for 7 years. I made last year, started a brand new business, made $2 million with it. This year, we're shooting for five. I don't know what's going to happen. We have very high profit margins as well. We're not running it like that's side to the point. I have a bunch of other videos on my channel that talks about that. But I feel very strongly about this topic. Like, do you want to just look rich or actually become rich? And I'm not claiming to be the richest man in the world by any means. But if you compare myself today to where I was 7 years ago when I started an online business, there's a huge difference. Like, I am a millionaire and I'm going to continue to build my wealth. And that is the whole point of this video. But you're never really going to see me flash stuff. And maybe that's dumb because it works, but let's dive into it. I want to begin this video with a story. And this is a more common story than you think, right? And it goes like this. And this story can be applied to a lot of people, by the way. A lot of people that you see here on YouTube that flash a lot of money, a lot of them are actually struggling. And I'm not going to name any names, but just knowing, hearing insider stories from people, a lot of people that flash you all of the money, that look rich with the cars and the Lambos and the watches and the penthouse and all of that, they might be doing well in a cash flow way, but they're struggling. And if their business goes down, they're basically whacked, right? And there's a story about this guy who he's like an OG in this space, in like the online marketing space, and he's been making a lot of money, a lot of money. And most people would think that he is like set for life, right? But he's not. He has made millions and millions, probably tens of millions of dollars, for sure, tens of millions of dollars online. And he's now like 50, and he has some stuff left to show for it, but most of his money, he still has to like hustle for money to be able to keep up with his lifestyle. So imagine that. Imagine like making millions and millions, tens of millions of dollars, and then when you turn 50, you have nothing left to show for it, and you still have to hustle, right? And so there must be an alternative way to do this, right? And the way I started to think about this was I ran a marketing agency. In my entrepreneurial story, like how I started was basically with the service-based business. I sold the service. I grew that, so I made like $50,000 per month in profit for my agency. It was great. But then I didn't really want to scale it further because of a bunch of reasons we can go into another video, but like it's you're selling your time basically. So to scale it, I needed to hire more people, and I didn't even enjoy my agency. So I was like, why am I even doing this? So what happened was that I started to like generate money every single month and a lot of profit, and it just stacked up in my bank account. And I was like, what am I gonna do with this money? All right. I bought myself an apartment. Like I'm pretty frugal. I don't buy a lot of stuff. I have like apartment. I pretty much wear the same freaking clothes every single day. I eat good food, spend time with my family. I travel to meet my team. That's about it. I don't do a bunch of stuff. But then when you start to get money in a bank account, it's like, what do you do now? Now you've worked hard, you've built up all this money, and you have cash coming in every single month. And what most people default to is like their idea of success is then that, well, I might as well just buy stuff, right? I have this money, I might as well. I might as well just buy the car I want. I might as well just, I can kind of afford that penthouse, right? Or I can kind of afford that whatever 10K, 8K per month rent for that place that looks super flashy. And then you kind of start to like, yeah, it's a business investment and it's going to help me in my content and all of that, which is kind of true. But you just start to find these excuses to just buy a bunch of stuff that you don't really need, right? Maybe you start to buy a really nice watch, right? You buy a Rolex for like, I don't know, 30, 40, 50K or something. which is nothing wrong with that. I love nice watches. But then you buy another one, and then another one, and then you start buying clothes and designer clothes, and then you just start to burn the money because you feel like you have the right to, right? And that's what everybody else is doing. So you're just like, I might as well do that. And business is going great right now. I'm making a lot of money. I might as well enjoy it, right? But then what happens is the business is always going like this, always. So then it's going to come a day when the business is not going as well anymore. And now you're left with, guess what? Nothing. Because you've burnt all of your cash on basically a bunch of useless stuff. And now you have nothing left to show for it. And now you're just like, dang, I just wasted 10 years with great cash flow on like just a bunch of shit, basically. So what's the alternative way? Well, you're smarter with your money. And I went to a mastermind. This was in 2022, I think. And there was a guy there who has been helping me a lot. He's worth a lot of money. He's been very smart with his money. Yeah, he's made a lot of money cash flow wise, but not necessarily a lot more than like, there's people that made a lot of money than him in cash flow wise, but he's just been treating his money differently. So at this event, he spoke about this, like what do you do with your money when you start to make your money, which is basically learning how to invest it. And learning how to invest your money is, I'm not going to say that it's easy, but most people have no freaking idea how to do it or what it even is. And if you just, it's not that hard. The whole concept is to make cash flow, make the money work for you long term, and basically invest it. And I was sitting in this room with a bunch of entrepreneurs making a lot more money than me at the time. And I have started to learn a little bit about investing because I basically got mentorship from this dude who was basically lecturing at this mastermind. And I looked around and everybody was sitting there listening. And then hands started to come up, right? And people were like, okay, so where do I invest? And they're like, yeah, you can do X, Y, Z, you can do blah, 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 you can do index funds, you can do this, you can like in growth stocks, you can do like, and they were like, yeah, you can sign up to all of these different sites where you can buy, basically invest into stocks, etc., exchange sites. And I had kind of starting learning about this, like index funds and kind of what it is. And entrepreneurs sitting beside me, I realized that they were making a lot more money than me in cash flow, but none of them had a clue about what to do with the money, which is insane, right? They were making all of this money, just stacking it, not knowing, having an idea of what to do with it, and probably just burning it on a bunch of stuff. So the reason why I want to make this video, because even if you're early into your journey as an entrepreneur, or even if you're already like an established entrepreneur and you're trying to figure this out, or maybe you've already figured out a business that is like now actually growing for you and you're making money with it and you don't know what to do with the money, like, be smart with the money. Don't fall into this hype that everybody show you on the internet, that you just like the whole goal of life in entrepreneurship is to buy a bunch of stuff. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that. I think nice things in life, I think you should have it and you should treat yourself, but you shouldn't do it with your cash flow. You should have a business that generates cash flow for you, and then you use that cash flow to buy assets, and then you build up those assets that basically is going to compound over time, right? Interest on interest, right? So either you can pay out yourself dividends from those things, or you can just reinvest the dividends and it just keeps on growing. And then once your nest of eggs in assets are starting to become big enough and make enough money for you, then you can basically live off the money that your investments are doing. So the game of entrepreneurship is not to figure out how to make money from a business and burn the money. That's dumb. What you do is that you build a business, you generate cash flow, you take that cash flow, you invest the money so the money starts to work for you, and then you do that. And then you live frugally for 5 or 10 years or something. And then you basically live off that money that your assets are paying you. That's the game, right? So, and I think this is important for people to realize, because all you see out there, and every single person is trying to tell you about how to make money. They're just flashing money and how to spend it, right? And if you look at the real wealthy people in the world, what do? Well, they buy Amazon early. They buy the Facebooks early. They use their money to invest it. They buy real estate. They invest. That's how you build like long-term wealth, by using your money to invest it and being smart. So this flex that you just burn money is just dumb. Now, the next question, this is a little bit out of the scope of this video, but I might as well go into it because hopefully there's going to be a lot of people watching this video and you're just like, dang, like okay, I get it. I need to be smart with my money, but how do I actually make money? Well, there's a bunch of ways that you can make money, right? But there's really only like 4 things that you can sell online. You can sell your time, you can sell physical products, you can sell software, and you can sell info. And what I do, and because I've been doing a lot of these business models, I've been selling my time, which is great in the beginning, but it sucks later because you can only sell as like you don't have unlimited time, right? So service-based business, that's what I started, but then I was like, oh, I can't scale this. Software is like super hard, right? Like it's expensive to build like crazy. You need developers and all of this and engineers, and you need to be a really good product person as well. So like for a beginner, that's not the best. Or you can sell physical products, right? E-com and all of that. That's one thing that I've not done. I've done affiliate marketing quite successfully, made millions in that as well. And in the software business, or not in the software, but a service-based business. And now finally I'm in info. And info is like, there's a reason why people end up in info. If you look here on YouTube, right, people tell you to start trading, but what do they sell? They sell you info. Or they tell you to do an SMMA business. What do? Well, they sell info. Or they tell you to start affiliate marketing. What do? Well, they sell the info, how to do it. So info is where everybody ends up. And no, you don't need to be this expert or this guru to make money selling info. You know, online education is just education online. If you have something that other people are interested in and you can educate them on that, you can build an online education business. We have a customer right now who is teaching people how to play pickleball. Pickleball, making $64,000 per month. So, yeah, you basically build and an info business as well. It's not necessarily a great business to sell eventually. You're not really building it to sell it, but it's a great cash flow business. You can, like last month in April, in my business, we made $250,000 in revenue. And then people are like, oh, but what was your profit? Well, we spent $6,000 on ads and I paid my team. Rest was profit. So it's not like we spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on ads and traffic. We're getting organic traffic from simple YouTube videos like this, and we're using a platform called Skool. But yeah, like that's it. And like, so start a good cash flow business and then learn how to invest it. If you want to just like understand a little bit more about investments, because when I started, I was like, okay, I get it. People say that it's like pretty simple to do this, but what is it? How do I do it? Where do I sign up to like actually buy something, and what do I buy? I can highly recommend reading this book. It's called The Common Sense Investing, the little book of common sense investing by John C. Bogle. John C. Bogle was basically the dude who created the first index fund. And I can highly encourage you to look into index funds. If you're somebody just starting out and you're just having a day job and you're young, maybe you're 20 years old and you're just working as a waitress or something, read this book, set aside just $50 per month into an index fund. Do that for 10, 15, 20 years. You're going to be very happy because you're going to make a lot of money from it over time. Or if you're an entrepreneur and you're already making money, you have no idea how to invest, read this book as well. This book is really, really good. It's going to teach about index funds. It can change your life. And the main idea with this book, the game of entrepreneurship is not to just make a bunch of cash so that you can buy a bunch of shit. It's start a business, make cash, learn how to invest it, do that for a long period of time, 5, or like you can do it for 3, 5 years, 10, then you're going to be golden. And then after that, you can have this nest of eggs that is your assets that's going to pay you for life, essentially. You're going to be set. So don't be dumb, don't burn your money. Just do that, basically. So now, hopefully you don't care about looking rich as much anymore. But if you want to be rich, at least you have a start and know how to do it.